Greetings, fellow beings, and let me say this: cash is king and media is broke. That's right, today we're going to dive into the world of media stocks, media companies, and discover the trial and tribulations faced by some of the biggest players in the industry right now. From underperforming against the market to navigating money-losing streaming businesses and writers' strikes, these media giants have been taking their stockholders on a very wild ride. It's time to board the financial reality train and see where these companies are really headed. Here we go. And in the classic style of a story, once upon a time in the first half of 2023, media companies faced their fair share of challenges. While the S&P 500 enjoyed a 12% gain, entertainment conglomerates like Disney and Paramount and Fox struggled to keep up. But hey, at least they fared better than the disastrous first half of 2022, where they had experienced the market cap drops that could make anyone's stomach a little uneasy. Let's not forget the unpredictable factors causing headaches in 2023. Uncertain macroeconomic backdrop, which means recession, by the way. Profitability concerns, yes, like having some. And cost management woes. Yeah, like you've got too much stuff and nobody wants to buy it. All of these combined made life difficult for these media giants and their CEOs, and if that wasn't enough, they also had to deal with the dreaded writer's strike that showed no signs of easing. They also have a looming actors' strike around the corner, and of course the Teamsters, they're going to have to deal with those folks as well. That's not the plot twist that any CEO would be looking for. However, not everyone in the media realm was singing the same sad song. Netflix, after a rough start in 2022 with their subscriber drop, managed to please investors in Q1 of 2023, and boy did they. Their hopes for recovery were delivered, giving them strength in a market indicating that the tides were turning, and well, that might be worthy of some applause. Grant, the applause.
Please clap.
Meanwhile, Disney, despite having a different CEO in charge, or it's the same old Bob, no, meet the new Bob, same as the old Bob. I don't know, there's a joke in there somewhere.
Entertaining, joke.
Anyway, that company found itself struggling. Bob Iger spilled the beans, actually, in their latest earnings report, revealing a loss of 4 million streaming subscribers. Yikes. Let's try that again. And while their streaming losses narrowed slightly, their profit machine, their linear networks, experienced a very bumpy ride with a revenue tumble of about 7%, and their operating income sinking about 35%. Whoa. And if that wasn't enough, the theme parks business faced the challenge of an ever-growing slowing demand. Wow. People aren't going to the parks? That's not the wild ride that the House of Mouse was looking for. And I guarantee you none of the investors are enjoying that very much. So with all eyes now on the balance sheets where they should have been all along, free cash flow became the star of the show. And it always should have been. And there's good reason for that. Investors and analysts turn to this key measure of profitability to determine whether or not companies have enough cash to survive and repay debts and keep the dividends flowing, which Disney promised they would bring back. I wonder if that Peltz guy is going to get involved again. If you look too deeply at Disney right now, however, the answer to that's kind of scary. We'll have to do that in another video, and there's plenty of other people talking about it, but I have a different perspective there. I think Disney's going to have to sell something, do something different. It's going to have to be extreme, and it isn't going to be firing people. Anyway, fluctuations in free cash flow can cause a few raised eyebrows, but negative periods don't necessarily mean that it's the end of the world, because sometimes those are just, little lulls in business. It's all about weathering those storms and avoiding the rocks and the shore and Ursula's tentacles, which I don't know if Disney is doing. I don't know if they're doing that. So Comcast, Netflix, and Disney managed to stay in positive territory for the past 5 quarters. Disney, just barely. And despite some fluctuations in their free cash flow on hand, you had others like Paramount and Warner Brothers Discovery drowning in negative territory during the same period. Warner Brothers Discovery, of course, is in the midst of restructuring after a mega merger, and they're faced with, mounting financial pressure. Although I would say if anybody's turning it around, they are. Now, Paramount made a tough call this year. They actually announced that they were going to slash their dividend, sending some shockwaves through the stock market. And, those ripples probably haven't even stopped today. But believe it or not, Paramount's misfortunes may have a silver lining, at least according to some analysts. The investors and analysts are buzzing about it with a lot of optimism. Okay, what's that optimism, you ask? Well, they're hoping that the company will find a buyer. That's right, plot twist, Paramount needs to sell to somebody that's got a lot of money. That's going to help them turn around. Who could have predicted that? So as we gaze into an uncertain future for the second half of 2023, one thing is crystal clear. The media companies need to stay nimble and adapt against macroeconomic uncertainties. They need to shed some entrenched anti-American ideology and pursue pure capitalism. That balancing act actually requires healthy free cash flow levels and a keen focus on operating efficiencies, because, as I keep saying, cash is king. Now, the question is, who's willing to do it? Will Disney finally turn it around? Will Paramount sell? Can Warner Brothers Discovery pull off their turnaround? Good questions all. And of course, I'll be here with the answers and the numbers and maybe a little bit of humor. But hey, what do you think? Do you think that Paramount's going to sell? That's crazy. Do you think Disney can turn it around? That's a whole other story. Do you think some of these companies need to focus back on profitability? All three of those questions are really good, and I'd like to know what you think. So let me know down below, and I'd appreciate it. Be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others, wash your hands, of course, because it's good hygiene. And until next time, bye.
Be sure you're subscribed and hit that for alerts. Yay! Of course, like and share all of the videos that you can, as it helps with the algorithm. Have a great day.